Hey, everybody with type 1 diabetes. This is Dr. Jody Stanislaw, and you are watching Type 1 Diabetes TV, the place to be for living a long and healthy life with T1D. In one of my recent articles where I wrote about why I prefer shots over pumps, and I kind of laid out the pros and cons, one of you replied and said, wait a minute, you said you take shots all day, because one of my things about why I don't mind being on shots is, of course, I don't mind taking little shots all day long. And her reply was, I thought we weren't supposed to do that. So I wanted to answer that question in today's video. So insulin stacking is what we're talking about. Insulin stacking is when our blood sugar is high and we take insulin to correct it. And then an hour later, it's still high and we take some more to correct it, right? And then we take some more and correct it. And then what happens? Hours later, double down arrow, massive low blood sugar. So how do we avoid doing that? First thing we've got to understand is I want you to understand the timeline of how rapid insulin works. The timeline of Novolog or Humalog is it takes at least 15 minutes to raise your blood sugar even by 1 point. And then at about an hour to 2 hours, it's at its strongest. It's really lowering your blood sugar. It's taking lots of glucose out of your blood. Then after the 2 hour mark, it's still lowering your glucose out of your blood, but at a slower rate. And it might keep doing that for 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. There's no set exact peak time or end time, because if you do a shot and then you go be active, it's going to metabolize through you quicker. If you do a shot and go to bed, it's going to metabolize through you slower. So just how I teach to all of my clients and in all of my courses, everything with diabetes is kind of open for interpretation, open for tweaking, right? There's no hard and fast rule. That's even true with carbs, right? Your ratio isn't always 1 to 12. So I have a whole course where I teach about that, because of course we have to think about protein and fat and high glycemic and low glycemic, but that's for another day. So insulin stacking, how do we avoid it? First, we have to understand this timeline. If insulin takes an hour to peak, if you're still high an hour later, the insulin you gave an hour ago is just finally peaking, right? So we have to be a little bit more patient. One of my favorite ways to reduce a high without stacking is to just go on a walk or go be active or turn some music on and dance or do anything to be active, run up and down some stairs. If you are within that 1 to 2 hour window where you've given some rapid, a bolus or a shot, that 2 hours, that insulin is really powerful. And if you are active in that 2, even 3 hour window since you gave the bolus, you're going to help that insulin work faster and stronger. So before you're so quick to do another shot, go do some activity, right? See what your number is, maybe even pull out a poker and get a real-time finger poke test. Go be active 5-10 minutes, wait about 20 minutes, poke your finger again. And in that 20 minutes, did you go down? Hopefully you did, which meant you kicked in your insulin. Or if you stayed flat or even went up 20 minutes later, after all that activity, you likely can feel more confident that you might need a little correction. So correction doses, when people say, oh, my correction factor is 1 to 50 or 1 to 25 or 1 to 75, that's helpful to know, but it's never an exact science, right? Because when you're correcting, you have 2 major variables already happening. You have your previous dose trying to push you down, but you also have food pushing you up, right? So these 2 variables, you never know who's going to win. Did you take too much insulin and now you're going to go down? Did you not take enough and now your food is going up? Is your food going to digest slowly, but then rise you later, right? There's a lot involved. So how I manage all this is I personally eat generally smaller meals and lower carb. So in my email, when I said, I don't mind taking shots all day long, I might do a 1 unit prep shot 15 minutes before I'm going to eat. I know I'm going to eat something, so I don't know what exactly yet. So I give myself a unit. Then I sit down and I decide what I'm going to eat. And I'm thinking, oh, I probably need another unit. So I give myself another unit. And then an hour or 2 later, I'll just watch my numbers. I'm still in that window where I have a lot of insulin peaking. So I'm not going to be super on top of correcting. If I'm high, I might go for a walk. But if my walk doesn't lower me, then I feel pretty confident my food digesting, raising the blood sugar is winning the race versus the insulin I gave is not winning the race. So then I might give a little correction, but my corrections can sometimes be a half a unit, right? Or even 1 unit. I use pens because if I used a full vial, I don't go through 1,000 units in 30 days, 28 days. So this only has 300 units. And I don't like pen needles because you have to hold them here for so long, count and count. If you take them out too early, you can have insulin on your skin. So I like syringes because I just pop it in and pop it out. And they have half unit markings. So I can kind of give even a baby half or a fat half or a skinny one or a fat 1 unit. So I like these a lot. So that's why I take many shots, right? I might do a prep shot. I might do now I'm going to finalize my dose shot because I see what I'm eating. But then an hour later, I might do a little correction, a half unit. Or if I'm eating a lot of protein and fat, I know I'm going to need more insulin later on because the protein and fat are going to continue to raise me after the peak of my initial shot. So this complex dosing at meal times, or I should say advanced dosing at meal times concepts are what I love to teach you because I think they're sorely missing in type 1 diabetes training, right? We're just told count your carbs, put it in your pump and you're done. Well, if that worked, most type 1s would have really good A1Cs. And the fact is 70% of people have elevated A1Cs. So we know something's missing in the type 1 diabetes training world. And that is why I'm on this mission. I've dedicated my career to helping you really grasp these concepts. So if you want to learn more, I have a great course on my website called How to Stay in Range After Meals. I have an incredible membership program where I go live for 30 minutes once a week. And we have great topics on anything type 1, blood sugar training, plus emotional health, plus what are you eating for breakfast, new recipes. It's such a great community. And you can also work with me privately. So all of those links are available on my website, which is drjodyn.com, DRJODYN as in naturopathic, D as in doctor.com. So as proof that staying in range and a tight range is possible, I admit I've had a very good day. This is my numbers for the past 24 hours. So I have had lunch, I had a sausage and some veggies and some crackers. For breakfast, I had some berries and a piece of toast with peanut butter. I went on 2 different walks. So this is what's possible when you know how to fine tune your blood sugars. So I'd love to help you. Thanks for watching this week's Type 1 Diabetes TV. Leave a comment, reply to my email, wherever you're watching this video. And here's to living a happy and healthy life with type 1. Have a great day. Take some action. Check out my website. There's lots of offerings there for you to get the help you need.